Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the latest book I've read, which is People Will Talk by Kieran Scott. I wanted to take a break from constantly reading fantasy books for something a little more down to earth and non-fantasy. I decided that this summer I'm going to be reading 3 books that are not fantasy, no magic unfortunately, but I'm just taking a little break from it. This was on my to-read shelf for a long time and I was curious because it's a murder mystery story. It's about 3 women are invited to a Richie Rich Hampton clam bake and get the shock of their lives, to be honest. And then it's a bit of a slow start, but mostly Catherine is the one that leads the charge in this story. The 3 main heroines are Maya, a tennis star player who is Peter's girlfriend, Catherine, his ex-girlfriend from high school who is obsessed with him, and the 3rd woman is Leanne, who is the aunt slash stepmother of Peter's son, Hudson. Peter is the Richie Rich guy who is so rich he could own his own island kind of rich. This book kind of gets a little ridiculous with how casual everybody's just rich, but it's the ridiculousness of knowing that honestly made it enjoyable. I would say this book was a 4 to 5 stars just from enjoyment. I kind of took a break and relaxed and let the drama unfold, and it was very dramatic towards the middle and end. The end twist was a bit of an ass pull, I'm not gonna lie, but overall I still very enjoyed this book. It was a very nice cozy read. So what actually happens during the book? Okay, so these 3 women who should never be together in the same room were invited, and surprise surprise, Peter is now getting married to the richest bish around, Tilly. Yeah, Tilly is a really hated enemy of all 3 girls for one reason or another. And Tilly, this nobody girl that just came out of nowhere, is marrying Peter, and everyone's like, oh my gosh. And then she dies. Also, oh my gosh. So, that's the main murder story, is she's murdered at her wedding clam bake, and it's a whodunit book. So, I thought that was a really interesting take because all 3 had motives. By the midway point, it becomes clear that really only 2 had motives, but the 3rd was just invited along, which is suspicious on itself. I totally guessed it because the book was saying stuff, and I was like, but what is it not saying? You know? So it wasn't like I wasn't mad that I could figure it out mostly for the story. Like I said, it was kind of an ass pull at the end just for shock value, but it was all right. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed just the humor and the ridiculousness and the drama of it. And sometimes, even I, with all my critique and criticism of fantasy books and everything, I want a break. Like, even I need a break just to kind of read some nonsense book that like on GoodReads is like 3.4 stars or something, but in my heart I enjoyed it so much it was like a 4.5 for me, or at least a 5, I don't know, but it kind of flip-flops between 4.5 and a 5 star for me. But that's okay. You know, sometimes you just need to read a good book that gets you out of your head. And that's why I decided to just take a summer break from reading fantasy all the time. I decided that my first book was going to be this one that I was really looking forward to. And then I decided my second book was going to be Queen of Hearts. However, while starting this, I only made it to about page 19 before I had to DNF this book. It is so bad. Not it like starts off as like the Grey's Anatomy kind of intro, and that's okay. I didn't hate that, and the person who wrote this is a doctor and like PhD and whatever. So I was just like, oh, there's gonna be big words, and there's also gonna be a lot of like doctor speak and whatever, and I was prepared for that. What I wasn't prepared for was this like baby speak bullshit. Oh my gosh. The 3-year-olds are calling adults honey dears for God knows what reason. In the same paragraph, they say when the main character is describing their relationship, they think we're Beauty and the Beast, evocative of those billionaire supermodel combos you see in the tabloids, or the racial aspect briefly trips them up. Wyatt's black. I'm white. Girl, did you seriously just do that in a book? Like, oh my gosh, that's so offensive. Making a Beauty and the Beast reference with a black and white character is not good. And then on the next page, Wyatt, the black guy, is coming to get coffee, and he shouts "Tarnation" because that's what you do. And then he's like, blah 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 blah. And then they're saying, "Hey Wyatt, you know, the main character, brought her friend, the other main character, to her house to have coffee, and this friend, and like the wife says, your pants, like where are your pants?" And Wyatt, the guy, says, "It's like the world is clamoring for me to go out in my unders." Girl, you did this to yourself. You DNF'd yourself. So that's gonna be a no for me. And I decided that I'm going to just move on to my next book. This summer will be different. I think it came out a year or two ago, and I'm excited because it's been on my bookshelf for a while from Half Price Books. So I'm excited for it. Should be interesting. And then my last summer read is gonna be The Forgotten Seamstress, which is about a story that takes place in World War I, with a seamstress and working in her mother's attic. And it seems like kind of sad, but you know, it sounds like it's going to be sad and hopeful, and I'm curious to see what kind of story this is. So stay tuned for the videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.